I'm here at Sabal Pines Park to speak with Phil Randazzo, our Superintendent of Parks, and we're here to talk about Egyptian geese at Sabal Pines Park. What seems to be the issue, Phil?
All right, well, welcome Yvonne. Thanks for coming out here so we can explain to our residents what's going on. So currently, right now, what's happening is we're having an influx of Egyptian geese at Sabal Pines Park. Right now, they're congregating a little bit more in the early morning hours and later in the evening hours, more from the 5 o'clock on into the evening.
How many are we talking, Phil?
Well, we're talking upwards to about 150 to 200 Egyptian geese. And some of the issues that we're having is just an unpleasant issue with the geese putting feces down onto the playing surface and onto the sidewalk. And you know, that's really a tough situation for moms coming with strollers, people walking, biking. It's just not really a great situation. Along with our playing fields, again, with the feces, a lot of kids are sliding, they're running, they fall to the ground, they put their hands in and around their face, near their mouth. It's just not a great situation. So we're trying to come up with solutions to, rectify this problem.
And it doesn't look too bad right now. So how often do you actually pressure clean?
So right now we're pressure cleaning once to twice a week, but then there are times that we've had to actually pressure clean up to 4 times a week, because if we don't get a lot of rain, if there's a week long here that we don't have any rain, the sidewalk is littered with feces and we just have to, get that off.
Phil, what are we doing to deter the geese from congregating here?
Okay.
Or what have we done?
Sure. So what we've done is we've tried reflective tape, reflective pinwheels, we tried low decibel air horns, and we actually even turn on our irrigation system when we see the geese on the playing field to try to get them to move off the field. And then we've also put up signs throughout Sabal Pines Park that remind everybody not to feed wildlife, which includes the geese, and there is a fine that comes along with feeding the geese.
So Phil, did any of these methods work?
Unfortunately, Yvonne, they have not. Some of these suggestions came from our residents, and just after, again, about a month-long trying these, we have just decided now to bring in a professional. So we are going to go ahead with Robert Rudderman, and he is from Humane Wildlife Consulting.
So Robert, why do you think we've had an issue with so many geese at Sabal Pines Park?
So the reason that there are so many Egyptian geese in Sabal Pines Park is without question because they are being fed regularly. Otherwise, they would never ever congregate in such large numbers. This is very unusual, it's very unnatural, and it's very atypical. Typically, I see, or we see, in South Florida, naturally, you'll see a pair together. They actually mate for life, so you see a lot of pairs together. Sometimes you see both parents with a few of their kids, but seeing flocks this size, like as Phil said, we're talking 150 to 200 geese are congregating here daily. That is very unusual, and there is exactly one reason for this, and it is that they are being fed.
The big deal about feeding wildlife.
Okay, so when we feed wildlife, like Egyptian geese here, it habituates them to humans, which is not good. Only bad things can happen from that. They're being fed an unnatural diet, which is often harmful to their health, and it creates problems like the amount of feces that we're seeing in this park, which unfortunately makes the park unwelcoming to a lot of people and unpleasant for people to be around, and it shouldn't happen. It's very unnatural, and these animals are so much better to just be left wild. Just observe them from a distance and just keep them wild. That keeps them safe, it keeps us safe, everyone wins.
So what's the solution and how can you help us?
Okay, so the solution is twofold. The long-term solution is certainly stopping the feeding of the geese at Sabal Pines Park. And the near-term solution is what I'm going to be working on, which is spraying the areas where they're congregating. Now, I'm going to be spraying the areas with a non-toxic, natural, biodegradable, eco-friendly liquid repellent. So what happens, the purpose of the spray is to coat the areas where the birds are eating, coating the grass, the leaves, anything that they might be eating throughout the day. And what it does is spray actually it tastes very unpleasant to the geese. It tastes so unpleasant that they're gonna want to stop frequenting this area, and they'll stop eating the grass and the foliage in the area. And the goal is to disperse the geese as quickly as possible. So this is not going to happen overnight. We're going to do initial spraying 2 to 3 times a week in the beginning, see how that works out, and then reassess after that. So just want to reiterate that this spray is safe. It's safe for the geese. It's safe for people. It's safe for pets. It's safe for even insects. And it's
The environment, safe for the
water
environment.
too. It will, yes, it's very safe all around. It's been widely used in various applications for coating agricultural crops, for example, the organic vegetables and fruit. Farmers will use this. Because it's safe, and it's been in use for at least since the end of the last century. So in closing, I just want to say that the spraying that we're going to be doing in the near term, and that in conjunction with the city's policy to discourage people from feeding wildlife, that is the long-term solution. And we're very hopeful about its success, and we look forward to welcoming all residents of Coconut Creek and beyond back to Sabal Pines Park.